Does size matter? This is a question that every single guy likes to ask. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you that it doesn't with these small purchases that I cannot live without. Starting off with a Philips Norelco. This is actually their intimate version. This is a $30 electric razor that has been putting in work. This trims up absolutely everything with ease, and I really do mean everything. No nicks, no cuts. This is genuinely the smoothest electric razor that I've ever tried. Now, to really put it to test, I actually shaved my legs, and if you've seen me wear shorts, you would know that my legs tend to get pretty hairy. It is really weird because this is like the only part of my body that actually gets quite hairy. At one point, I considered using a weed whacker on it, but the Philips Norelco definitely took care of that. You could actually buy guards for this, which I highly recommend because for legs, I don't want to go completely clean shaven. Although completely clean shaven might help you show off your leg muscles, making them look more defined. I still feel like I just need a little bit of leg hair. That way I don't look like I'm trying to become a bikini model or something. But yeah, for such a simple $30 purchase that you could actually take anywhere because it's so small, it really does prove that bigger doesn't always mean better. The next thing is a card holder. I will never understand why people go for bigger wallets, even if you have more stuff to store. Bigger wallets just look terrible in your pockets, looks way too bulky, really unflattering, especially if you're wearing slimmer jeans, which I tend to go for. Try to keep your everyday carry as minimal as possible, and the first step for that is a card holder. You'd also call this a pocket organizer. It's genuinely the same thing. Now, these don't have to be expensive. There are really two options that I highly recommend. This one from Quince, because this one actually does have quite a bit of pockets that you could store up, even though again, I like to carry light. I really only carry 4 cards with me, and that's including my ID. I like this one because it's Italian leather. It has a spot specifically for your ID, and then behind it, if you want to store more cards in here, it has this little mechanism that you could pull up and get any single card that you need with absolute ease. And then all things considered, having this in your pocket, you won't even notice because it is so light. Now, when you have an extremely light wallet, some people, me included, could potentially forget about it. So the next small purchase that I really recommend is a card tracker. This is significantly better than Apple AirTags because, let's be real, Apple AirTags is going to make your wallet extremely bulky. I had one, threw it out and replaced it with this slim tracking card that's pretty much the same size as a credit card, maybe a credit card and a half. It just slips right in. It works with Find My. And honestly, the only downside is the fact that with an Apple AirTag, if you get close enough, it'll kind of guide you exactly to where the item is. But with these third-party cards, it doesn't have that exact technology, but you can still track it and you can still play a sound. So you are going to find this pretty much every single time. Now, one small thing that really does add up is getting points for your rent, because I like to earn points on my biggest expenses. And I always found it a little bit crazy that you weren't able to get points for everybody's biggest expense, which is rent. But now it's finally possible with today's video sponsor, Built. There is no cost to joining Built, and they make it seamless for you to sign up and immediately start earning points for your rent. You'll earn points for paying your rent and making purchases around your neighborhood with any credit or debit card that's linked to your Built account. Points will add up fast without you even noticing because you are finally going to start getting rewarded for the things that you are supposed to do. Paying your rent, going out on Built partnered restaurants, fitness classes, Lyft ride shares, and so much more. Then with all the points that you've added up, you could transfer your points to your favorite hotels and airlines. With over 500 airlines, 700,000 hotels and properties to choose from, it's safe to say that you could start planning your dream vacation. You could also redeem your points for your future rent or for exclusive Built member rewards. I seriously can't stress enough how much I really recommend Built. Start getting rewards for things that you are already doing. And you can start earning points today using the QR code on screen or using the first link in the description. Since Built is a supporter of the channel, make sure you use my link so they know that I sent you. Again, boys, the link's gonna be the first one in the description. All right, the next small purchase that can really upgrade your life is smart lighting. If you want to be an overall more aesthetic guy, whether in your own room or your apartment in general, start paying attention to lighting. And if you're just using the lighting that's already in your apartment, chances are this is just way too bright, doesn't look good. So if you want to make the switch and make your apartment look more cozy, get some cheaper lights from Philips Hue or Govee. Granted, Philips Hue is a little bit more expensive, but if you just get the dimmable lights, it's not as bad. They really start to get more expensive when you get the ones that have colors. Although those are pretty cool, I don't really think that I would use that a ton myself, especially for the bigger lamps. Maybe I would use it for the small ones, but for the bigger lamps, all you need is the dimmable ones, especially if you get the smart ones because you can connect this straight to your phone. I like dimming the lights whenever I'm watching movies. This makes the entire vibe of my apartment a lot more cozy. Like you just want to cuddle up on the couch. That being said, I do live alone, There's no one there to cuddle with, but since it's just me, I am more than happy watching movies in my own apartment that feels a lot better with better lighting. Now, I do spend most of my time behind me at my desk setup, and this one as well is decked out with good lighting. Off to the side, I have a standing Govee lamp. Govee is actually the most affordable brand, so I'm probably gonna be shopping here a lot more. This one, you can change the colors. I do find that pretty cool. They have a ton of features like detecting music, and the light will start bouncing to the music, as well as this portable table lamp. My favorite setting is this candle light. This mimics the flick of a candle, which I find to be very aesthetic, and honestly, I've gotten a ton of compliments at my place. The next small purchase has made me an absolute productivity machine, and that's these two apps, Time Pages and Actions. I use this every single day. In fact, as soon as I wake up and I go to my desk, I write out exactly what I'm gonna do for the day. This keeps me locked in, on top of my deadlines, and just highly productive. This is a subscription, but it's pretty cheap and you pay for the entire year, so I think it's very well worth it, especially if you're like me and you always forget that you have something to do. Locking it in on these two apps has made me on top of all my work. Now, one small thing that I carry with me every single day is my Whoop. Having my Whoop track everything has quite literally changed my life. Let's start off with the most simple one, which is walking. I've said it so many times, but walking 10,000 steps every single day is the easiest way to become more healthy, and if you're cutting, it'll definitely help you with that as well. Now, that being said, sometimes walking 10,000 steps is pretty easy. So if you start tracking your steps, especially with a Whoop, in my head, I always try to beat what I did yesterday, whether it's 12,000 steps, 15,000 steps, and I've gotten well above 25,000 steps. Now, granted, my feet were absolutely cooked, but it is a great thing to start tracking your progress with whatever you're doing and whatever you want to improve, like the intensity of your workouts, your runs, or even just your sleep. Having a Whoop on you every single day can help you do that. Now, this next item is so small, it's not even tangible. And again, it's because it's a service, and that is Audible. That I think I'm paying about 15 bucks a month for, and every single month I get a new Audible and I can listen to whatever book is available. And on Audible, there's tons of books on there. I've been listening to these more and more, whether it's on a long drive, just a simple walk, or even just washing my dishes. I think the fastest way to plateau in your entire life is by stop learning. And that's why reading is so important. And obviously you shouldn't be driving and reading, nor walking and reading. That's why I like having Audible, because I have this in the background with whatever else that I'm doing. I'm getting through all the books that I enjoy. I've learned a ton. Books in general can change your life, so that's why I really like having Audible. This next small purchase is by no means essential at all, but it's definitely one of the coolest things that I bought in the last 6 months. And that is an Ember mug. This is a coffee that I poured myself about 40 minutes ago. It's still warm. In fact, it's 142 degrees still. The reason why I know that is because with an Ember mug, you can set exactly what you want your temperature of your beverage to be, and it'll stay like that unless you want to change it, or in case it dies, which it does die quite fast. But like I said, it's been about 40 minutes. My drink is still warm. So all things considered, this is a great purchase that I am so glad that I bought. The next thing that you should really consider buying if you don't have one already is a good cologne. Now, this is a small purchase that can run you a lot of money. For example, I have a cologne that costs $400. That is absolutely ridiculous. So here's a good cologne that's less than $100 that'll get you compliments, get you noticed, and it is so worth the money. And that is Latafa Mahir Legacy, which will cost you around $20. These are always on sale, and I bought mine for around 25 bucks. And this smells exactly like another cologne that does cost $400. So far, this has gotten me a ton of compliments. It makes me smell rich. And again, I only spent $20 on this one. Now, this is one of the colognes that you can go out and buy at Macy's, but don't worry, I'm gonna have the link in the description, as well as everything that I talked about in this video, even right here on YouTube Shopping. Now, if you want some more affordable hygiene essentials, here's a video about the 12 essentials that you need this summer.